And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We are recording now live till 5, and then we'll post it up on YouTube so you can come by later and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, and that will take you to our Qso-Vlog page, where we're now featuring about 850 or so Qso-Vlog air checks. Also this afternoon, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers monitoring Rochester, New York, Atlanta, Georgia, Arlington, Virginia, and Milford, Pennsylvania, trying to get a better copy on our 100-watt friends. Now, the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on this selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 2 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed to north and south, the other east and west. The north and south mag loop can be rotated. They are selected by a 3-position rotary selector. Position 3 of this selector is a co-phase option that many times is 3 to 4 dB hotter than mag loop 1 or 2 by themselves. We do use a lot of rotary selectors in our shack, mainly because there's nothing faster to check and compare multiple signals. Also today, for the first time, we're running 2 separate transmit and receive radios. My ELMER is constantly raising the learning performance bar, so today and for the next few weeks we'll be using our normally highly modified 990 as the transmit radio and an ICOM 7300 as the receive radio. The idea being that the 7300 has a lot newer receiver technology. That's what we will be evaluating for the next few weeks. We've had to build a special new automatic antenna mute switch to keep transmit RF from our kilowatt amp and dipole antenna out of the 7300 front end, running the large twin 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas. And also there's those who are working there are working conditions. How about yours? This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now let's check in and see if CHARLEY-K1GZL is on the frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up in northern New Hampshire near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Yeah. Hi, Jim. KC9 Victor, King Victor, K1GZL. Very interesting all the way around. You're just barreling in like a ton of bricks. It's overcast, but I see it trying to clear on the west and southwest horizon. And it's been bitter, bitter cold here, Jim. Do you copy? Go ahead.
Yes, sir, I do. Now, just how cold has it been, Charlie?
Oh, boy. Let me tell you. Yesterday morning, early, with some wind still blowing, the temperature had dropped to 10 degrees below zero. 10 degrees below zero. The daytime high was 2 degrees below zero. And at noon yesterday, it was running between 3 and 4 degrees below zero. And there was a 2-day period that ended a few days ago where we picked up 14 inches of snow, making it 66 inches of snow for the season so far. So it is definitely winter up here. But just to give you a contrast, let me give you a contrast in weather. I was working Ian, who was here last April 3rd when the snow was up to our chests on the level snow. I was talking to VK3 Mexico, Ontario, yesterday, actually this morning here on 40 meters on 7150, and he told me how utterly hot it's been down there in Australia, and let me give you a few seconds playback of how hot it was in Australia. The conditions were not that good this morning. We had a lot of sporadic E, and we also had a magnetic situation There were pictures on the Weather Channel of tremendous northern lights in Finland this morning that were taken last night. So conditions weren't as good, but I recorded his comment on his temperature. Here it is.
I just give a noise that everyone else is coming through well. Yeah, 106 Fahrenheit here today. 106 Fahrenheit. Really hot day. Still very, very hot. I'm not going to stay in here. It's just the radio room is about the hottest place in the house.
Okay, Jim, so that'll give you an idea what it was like in Australia. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, 106 degrees. Now that, that's a little hot there. That's like, well, I won't say what that's like, but I'm sure they all feel that way down there when it gets to be 106, Roger, Charlie?
Oh, yeah. In fact, it was a day or so ago, I think the whole country of Australia averaged 107 degrees Fahrenheit, and that broke records. I'm not sure if it broke permanent records or records on that date. I'm not sure, but they've been going through a horrible situation. But you're doing very well today yourself.
Out there, that's like, well, I won't say what that's like, but I'm sure they all feel that way down there when it gets to be 106, Roger, Charlie.
Oh, boy, you better believe it, Jim. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, Charlie, you keep it in the road down there and are up there, actually. You're about, you're 4 miles from the Canadian border, is that right?
Exactly. 21,000 feet to the west and northwest of me is the Quebec border of Canada. So you've got to be getting into Canada. For Pete's sake, I could throw a stone almost from here into Quebec. Northern New Hampshire is sort of, Vermont digs into northern New Hampshire. And, of course, the very northeast tip of Vermont, which they call the Northeast Kingdom, that's only 2.5 miles directly west of me. And then if you go northwest of me, you're still 4 air miles. You're in Quebec. So to get over there to the customs station, it's not direct exactly. Going east to west, it's getting a little difficult to go from the here to there, but they say up here. The north-south roads are more direct up and north and south, but you get a problem up here near the Quebec border where going from east to west, you zigzag up and down and back and forth. Oh boy, it's really something, Jim, but it's beautiful country. I love it, but I was afraid I was going to freeze up yesterday. Oh boy, it had me scared. It was cold. Go ahead.
AYA.
Station stand by just a moment. Charlie, gosh, you live on a mountain. You are on a mountain right there. What is the name of that mountain?
Ben Young Hill. That is the name of the hill here. Of course, they have hills all over the place, but we're up at 2,030 feet, or about 617 meters above sea level. The valley floor is 1,000 feet lower. You get down to downtown Colebrook on Main Street. You're at 1,013 feet, so you're halfway to sea level. And just that climb up another 1,000 feet, makes a world of difference in what type of weather you're going to get. For I'll tell you, the reason on that is upsloping orographic lift is when the moisture coming in, say, like from the west and northwest. On the Canadian side, the land is much lower, and they get less snow. But once, like over in Sherbrooke, Quebec, that's 37 air miles northwest of it, or about 55 kilometers northwest of us. They're only 485 feet above sea level at the airport there. And that moisture comes along and hits these hills. It gets forced uphill, and if the air is saturated, it squeezes it out. So there's a terrific difference. And even from the south-southwest, down in Colebrook, 10 road miles and 9 air miles, you're coming up 1,000 feet, and believe it or not, that squeezes the heck out of the clouds, and it snows, Jim.
Roger, Charlie. Roger. Well, I've seen your antenna farm, your antenna beam, 3-element beam coming down off the slope, and that's just a beautiful sight to behold. And obviously today it's working quite well because I'm copying you at almost 15 over my local noise level. So great signal, Charlie. Let me say threes to you. Thanks for checking in, and we'll be looking for you next Friday, Roger.
Roger, Jim. A pleasure always. And Mike, if you're listening in Pittsburgh, I'll be on in about 2 minutes, plus or minus 150. On the clearest spot I can get. Okay, Jim, thank you so much. My voice just decided to go out here hard. KC9VKV, K1GZL, we are clear. And no major snows in sight until after Christmas, nothing. So we have a quiet period. And boy, on Christmas, it's going to be nice and warm. It may get way up to the upper 20s Fahrenheit. Yikes! Isn't that nice? 73, Jim.
Roger, Charlie, 3-zip that way. And hopefully you're correct about no new bad weather coming in before Christmas anyway. This is KC9VKV and the Qso-Vlog network. If you have a radio that you want to check out or need some assistance in setting up, give me a shout. This is KC9VKV listening.